medicine is supposed to heal us. It's the science of understanding the human body, fighting disease, and saving lives. But for most of human history, medicine was far from what we know today. It was a strange mixture of superstition, guesswork, and sometimes pure madness. Before microscopes, antibiotics, or anesthesia, people tried everything: herbs, animal parts, bloodletting, electric shocks, and even mercury. For thousands of years, being sick often meant trusting someone who barely understood what the body even was. This is the weird, dark, and sometimes hilarious history of medicine. Today, we'll uncover 10 of the strangest, most disturbing, and unbelievably real medical treatments ever practiced. Some worked by accident, others killed more people than they cured. But all of them show how far we've come, and how creative, desperate, and sometimes reckless humans can be when it comes to staying alive. A brief history of medicine. Long before modern science, medicine was based on observation, myth, and trial and error. In ancient Egypt, disease was often seen as punishment from the gods. In ancient Greece, Hippocrates proposed that the body was governed by 4 humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Balance these, and you were healthy. Let one get out of control, and you got sick. This idea dominated Western medicine for nearly 2,000 years. Doctors tried to restore balance by draining blood, making patients vomit, or purging their bodies. During the Middle Ages, physicians added religion and astrology to the mix. The Renaissance brought dissection and anatomy, and the Enlightenment added chemistry and early surgery. But even then, medicine remained terrifyingly experimental. Now let's dive into the top 10 weirdest and most bizarre medical practices in human history. 1. Bloodletting, the cure for everything. For nearly 2 millennia, doctors believed that illness came from too much blood. Their solution? Let it out. Bloodletting was used for everything: fevers, infections, headaches, even heartbreak. Physicians used knives, glass cups, or leeches to drain blood from their patients. George Washington, the first president of the United States, famously died after his doctors drained almost half his blood in an attempt to treat a sore throat. Leeches were especially popular in the 18th and 19th centuries. France imported millions of them every year for medical use. Ironically, in rare cases, bloodletting did reduce pressure or inflammation. But most of the time, it only made patients weaker. Still, leeches made a comeback in modern microsurgery. Today, they're sometimes used to restore blood flow to damaged tissue. A weird full circle. 2. Trepanation, drilling holes in the head. Trepanation is one of the oldest surgical procedures known to man, and also one of the most horrifying. Archaeologists have found skulls from as far back as 7000 BC, with holes drilled or scraped into them. The reason? To release evil spirits believed to cause seizures, headaches, or mental illness. Surprisingly, many of those skulls show signs of healing, meaning people survived the procedure. In the Middle Ages and Renaissance, trepanation was still practiced for epilepsy, migraines, and madness. Today, it's done under sterile conditions for real medical reasons, like relieving pressure after brain injury. But ancient trepanation was literally brain surgery with a rock. 3. Mercury, the deadly cure-all. Mercury was once believed to be a magical element capable of purifying the body. It was used in ointments, pills, and even drinks. During the Renaissance, mercury became the main treatment for syphilis. Patients were rubbed with mercury ointments or made to inhale its vapors, which slowly poisoned them. The saying, "A night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury," became grimly accurate. Symptoms of mercury poisoning, trembling, drooling, and madness were seen as part of the healing process. Even centuries later, small amounts of mercury were used in medicine, from thermometers to vaccines. It wasn't until the 20th century that medicine fully abandoned mercury as a cure. 4. Mummy powder, eating the dead. From the 16th to the 18th century, Europeans believed that powdered mummies had healing powers. Yes, actual Egyptian mummies ground into dust. The practice began when merchants sold ground mummy remains as mumia, claiming it could cure everything from headaches to internal bleeding. Doctors prescribed it in pills, drinks, or pastes. Kings, nobles, and commoners alike consumed it. Some even mixed it into wine. Eventually, the supply of real mummies ran out, so forgeries appeared, made from executed criminals or animals. The idea of consuming death to preserve life was symbolic, but it was also disturbingly real. 5. Tobacco smoke enemas. The breath of life. In the 18th century, doctors believed that tobacco could stimulate the body. Literally. The bizarre treatment known as the tobacco smoke enema involved blowing smoke into a patient's rectum using a tube and bellows. It was used to treat everything from drowning victims to stomach cramps. In London, resuscitation kits with tobacco and bellows were installed along the River Thames to revive people who had fallen in. Eventually, doctors realized that nicotine poisoning might not be the best form of therapy, and the practice disappeared by the mid-1800s. But yes, this was once real medicine. 6. Electric shock therapy, from cure to controversy. The discovery of electricity in the 18th century inspired a wave of electromedical devices. Doctors thought that electricity could stimulate healing, cure paralysis, and even bring back the dead. Patients were shocked with primitive batteries, static machines, and electric belts. By the 20th century, electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, was used to treat mental illness. In some cases, it worked, but often it was applied brutally, without anesthesia or consent. Modern ECT is still used today in controlled, safe doses for severe depression. But the early experiments were as terrifying as they were unpredictable. 7. Arsenic, the poison that healed. Before antibiotics, arsenic was a surprisingly common drug. In the 19th century, Fowler's solution, a tonic made of arsenic and water, was prescribed for asthma, psoriasis, and even malaria. It gave patients a healthy glow until their hair fell out and their organs shut down. Arsenic was also used in beauty products, giving pale porcelain skin. Unfortunately, it also caused cancer. By the early 20th century, scientists discovered that small, controlled doses of arsenic could fight certain infections, leading to the first effective treatment for syphilis. So yes, the poison that once killed thousands helped save lives too. 8. Cocaine and heroin. Miracle drugs of the 19th century. In the late 1800s, cocaine and heroin were hailed as medical miracles. Cocaine was used in tonics, toothache drops, and even the original recipe for Coca-Cola. Sigmund Freud praised it as a cure for depression and morphine addiction. Heroin, first marketed by Bayer in 1898, was sold as a non-addictive cough medicine for children. Doctors soon realized the horrifying truth: both drugs were extremely addictive. By the early 1900s, governments began to restrict their use. It's a chilling reminder that even the most respected scientists can make dangerous mistakes. 9. Radium therapy, the glow of death. When Marie and Pierre Curie discovered radium, it was hailed as a scientific miracle, a source of mysterious energy that could heal. Soon, radium was everywhere, in toothpaste, cosmetics, chocolate, and water tonics. Doctors claimed it could cure arthritis, impotence, and fatigue. One famous victim was industrialist Eben Byers, who drank radium water daily and eventually died from radiation poisoning. His bones literally crumbled. It wasn't until the 1930s that the dangers of radioactivity became undeniable. Today, radiation is used carefully in medicine, but it all began with glowing miracle cures. 10. Lobotomy, the surgery that erased souls. Few medical procedures are as infamous as the lobotomy. In the 1930s, doctors believed that cutting connections in the brain's frontal lobes could calm violent or mentally ill patients. Dr. Walter Freeman popularized the ice pick lobotomy, inserting a sharp tool through the eye socket and moving it back and forth. Tens of thousands of patients, including children, underwent the procedure. Some became docile, others were left disabled for life. By the 1950s, lobotomy was finally discredited as antipsychotic drugs became available. Today, it's remembered as one of medicine's darkest chapters. Conclusion: from madness to modernity. Looking back, it's easy to laugh or shudder at these bizarre treatments, but each one represents a step in humanity's desperate attempt to understand health and disease. People weren't stupid. They were experimenting with the tools and knowledge they had, and sometimes, by accident, they discovered truths that paved the way for modern medicine. From leeches to lasers, from trepanation to transplants, the journey of medicine has always been a mix of courage, curiosity, and error. As future doctors and scientists look back at us, who knows which of our current treatments will seem equally absurd? One thing is certain. The story of medicine is not just about healing the body. It's about the human drive to fight against the unknown, no matter how strange the methods may be.